Hi Doug, thanks for coming to talk to us.
No worries.
So you've come to talk about what? Which challenge did you do?
We did Hong Kong to Hanoi.
Okay, great. And when was that? What year was that?
That was
what
October 2013.
month? And what made you want to do it?
Why do we want to do it? I think at that time we wanted a new challenge. So my girlfriend and I had done some various other adventure trips.
Like where?
Where we've been up to Everest Base Camp the year before.
Cool.
We've done some various other trips. So we'd cycled around Sri Lanka the year before that. And this one just sort of struck us as being that sort of good mix of being somewhat challenging, but also a bit of a holiday as well.
And was it a bit of a holiday?
Yeah, it was.
You sure?
It was incredibly. It was a long distance, 1,400 kilometres in 7 days. So we covered about 200 kilometres a day, which for us was just about right. It's just about right.
Good to hear. Good to hear. And how did you feel at the beginning of it? Were you apprehensive or?
I think it was quietly confident. I think it's probably the best way to describe it. We were pretty confident about our bike riding abilities. I think one of the things that perhaps did fill us a little bit with nerves it was sort of the state of the Chinese roads. We were on road bikes, so it was definitely a bit of an unknown for us.
Not the same as Hong Kong.
No, definitely not the same as Hong Kong.
Fair enough. And okay, so what was the hardest thing about it?
Hardest thing, definitely the hardest thing was getting back into the saddle on the beginning of the second day. You quickly realised at the end of the first day we were all exhausted, and then getting back into the saddle on the second day there was a sort of very hard realisation that you had another five days to go.
6
days to go. Sorry, a lot more days to go.
Was there anything very satisfying about doing this trip? Or unsatisfying?
I think it was. I think the most satisfying thing was definitely the sort of thought that we had cycled from 2 cities, fairly large cities in Asia. We'd sort of returned to Hong Kong. Everyone sort of said, where have you been? And we said we cycled to Hanoi. I think everyone thought that we said we had cycled in Hanoi because they said, oh, how did you get the bikes to Hanoi?
Was that when we went out for our after party?
Well, that, and also when we got back to sort of Hong Kong afterwards, everyone was sort of saying, oh, how was cycling around Hanoi? Well, we didn't cycle around Hanoi, we cycled to Hanoi. And the sort of look on a lot of people's faces when we made that quite clear was definitely interesting.
What about the sea? They often say, don't they?
They
say, well, what about how did you cycle across the ocean? That's one thing I often get. But
yeah,
there's no ocean between you and Hanoi.
They did look at us with a sort of, people did look at Fiona and I with a sort of look of amazement that people would want to go and do that. So
which is why you do it, right?
Which is exactly why we go and do it in the first place. Yes.
Cool. And okay, did anything funny happen to you?
Funny things. Lots of funny things happened. I think.
Just doing it, I guess, is a funny thing in itself.
There were moments of sort of hell, and there were also sort of moments of, pure bliss. I never thought cycling in the rain was going to be a real joy, but actually, sort of when we came into Vietnam and it was raining.
It had been quite good weather until then, and then they blasted it down, didn't it?
And it blasted it down, but there were beautiful roads. They were thankfully very quiet as well, and it was because we'd had this incident at the border. We were slightly late, so it was just the 2 of us cycling
behind everybody else.
Behind everyone else, obviously the support van behind us. But it was almost sort of idyllic. So that was. I'm not sure if that was a funny time, but it was definitely a memorable time cycling through the rolling hills of North Vietnam in the rain.
Awesome. Okay, and so if someone's thinking about doing this kind of thing, what would you tell them if they're thinking about doing this kind of challenge?
What would I tell them? Don't be put off by the distances, the fact that people scare you off Chinese roads, and various 1,001 things that could possibly sort of happen to you. Go for it. It was a great experience. Neither of us had sort of done much training or prepared for it, and I think there was a slight worry that would we be able to cycle 220, 250k a day? Yes, you can. I think. So don't be put off. Go and do it.
Cool. Would you do this kind of thing again?
Yeah, definitely. Probably wouldn't do the same one again, having already done it. But there's definitely sort of scope for new trips across Asia and elsewhere. Humphrey, if you get on it.
Cool. Lots of them. Cheers, Doug. Thanks.
Thanks, Humphrey.